The world is understandably transfixed by Trump's unauthorized and illegal invasion of Iran. But what he's doing to Cuba right now is arguably far more immoral and certainly worthy of our attention. The USA is effectively laying siege to the island in a way it has never done before, threatening catastrophic tariffs on any nation that dares sell Cuba even just a drop of oil.
Cuba's at the end of the line. They're very much at the end of the line.
The unethical aspect of this tactic is made just a little bit clearer when it's revealed that Cuba's electricity grid still runs overwhelmingly on oil-fired power plants, and roughly 2/3 of the oil Cuba relies on to function is imported. Trump signed his executive order cutting Cuba off from the global market on the 29th of January. Havana is already struggling to keep the lights on, to keep water flowing through taps, or even just to pick the rubbish off the streets. Cuba is experiencing rolling blackouts. Their ability to harvest food and bring it to population centres is flailing, and even their famous health system is struggling to provide basic care, let alone life-saving care. Now, I've been to Cuba. I understand the tyranny of this regime. Human rights groups estimate that Cuba has over 1,000 political prisoners. There is no freedom of speech there, and state repression is very real. But if you cut off the power to 10 million people, you're going to starve them. You're going to deprive them of their health. You're going to subject them to genuinely cruel suffering. Now, food distribution will collapse, refrigeration will be impossible, and even cooking will become difficult. And whatever your thoughts on the regime, this is punishing innocent people in the hope that they will be left with no other choice but to overthrow their own government just to feel relief and to hopefully return to some kind of normality. And, unlike Iran, it might actually work. Not because the public contempt for the regime is significantly greater, but because unlike Iran, the US is slowly inducing societal collapse in Cuba. Eventually, the apparatus of the government will not be able to function, and Cuba will risk devolving into a failed state. And with Trump desperately seeking a geopolitical victory to distract from his failures in the Persian Gulf, the opportunity to take down a strategic nemesis that has defied the US on its own doorstep for over 60 years will be far too valuable a scalp to encourage Trump to take his foot off the neck of the regime now, regardless how many ordinary Cubans are struggling to breathe as a consequence. Stepping back, it's entirely possible that the strategic objective of the seizure of Maduro wasn't actually about Venezuela. Maybe it was all about Cuba, because this economic warfare is only effective because Cuba's longtime ally in Caracas has stopped providing them with an unlimited supply of cheap oil. But what if it's worth it? Isn't it a good thing if the regime collapses? Well, it depends what outcome you're hoping for, because Axios is reporting that the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has been holding secret talks with Rodriguez Castro, the powerful grandson of Raul Castro. In a socialist country, he is the closest thing Cuba has to an oligarch due to his control of the military conglomerate that dominates large parts of Cuba's economy. And just like it was for Venezuela and Iran, this isn't about bringing democracy to Cuba. Marco Rubio has made it quite clear that his demands are exclusively focused on economic liberalization and allowing US companies to move into their country. Now, to be clear, economic liberalization will likely lead to more foreign investment, especially as US sanctions have made it largely impossible for any Western nation to even trade with Cuba for decades. But it will also create a market economy deliberately designed to be controlled by and reliant on the USA. It's worth remembering President Obama actually attempted to engage with the Cuban regime during his administration and move on from this history of hostility. He even visited Havana. Trump has, once again, chosen a very different path.
And it may be a friendly takeover, it may not be a friendly takeover, it wouldn't matter, because they're down to, as they say, fumes. They have no energy, they have no money, they're in deep trouble on a humanitarian basis.
Can you believe they wouldn't give that guy the Nobel Peace Prize?